Greetings and salutations. So in this video, we're going to kind of go over a recommendation or a wish list item, and it's based off of some gameplay experience where um, you kind of come to a couple of realizations or limitations that I think through a couple tweaks could improve gameplay experience and immersion. What a lot of times my decisions or my thought process is based off of one, how functional it is, and two, how realistic is it? How of course we're playing in a alternate space simulator here, but how realistic is it? And this is I've been doing the mining thing and using the mining lasers. And what's nice about the mining lasers is they draw their power from the ship. But I noticed is you can have a real tiny miner, which is CV, which is a miner, and it's lasers. You could have one small generator in there, and its lasers will have the exact same range as a giant Class 8 miner. And you see here, I can see my lasers, even though it looks like it's touching the asteroid, it's not. And even though if I go to devices here, and I go to devices, and let's say I'll type in Jin. That's not Jin. That's Din. Jin. Okay, I have a bunch of generators. Look at all that. Look at all that power, right? And then down here, I have more generators, and I have two gravity. I don't need to. I don't know why I have two gravities in here, but that's probably where all my fuel is going. Holy Jesus! But anyways, um, it's one of those things where with all this generation. So what do we got here? Collectively, we got what are these? 25 each? Yeah, 25, 50. There's 100 kpu plus another 3. That makes what are those? 2.5 each. So there's 5, 7.5. So there's 107 kpu. So if I had 107 kpu pushing towards into 6 lasers, that would create a laser beam that was like 3 miles long. And I can't get these lasers to work up. Basically, they're like 100. I get about a 300 meters out. 300 meters. Okay. Yeah, they work at 300. But I think they need a little bit more. They should make the lasers based off the power that is put to them, or the power that they have access to. I think that would do two things. One is it would force builders, or it would cause them to engineer based off a certain level of parameters, and it would drive that time in creation mode, and it would gradually. It's kind of like the CPU and weights and volumes hack, when you start doing the power hack and how much power affects things like mining lasers. I think it would add another layer of immersion, and it would, like, this thing should have. I should be able to. Let me see. I should be able to. There's 500, 350. So it doesn't touch at 350. It doesn't touch that laser, and this thing should be beaming out like, I'm not going to say a kilometer, but it should be beaming out 600 or 700 meters because of the crazy power that it has on here. Um, and that would a little bit more immersion, and I wouldn't have to have this thing like up against the asteroid, and it get that wag effect that it's that see that jiggle, that wag effect that it's doing. I notice when it's farther out away from the asteroid, it's still there. It's just not as noticeable, I think. But yeah, that's the kind of the video. It's just a recommendation. Instead of setting a base value for the lasers, put the lasers on a ratio of power put to them. I don't even know if that's possible, to be honest. Whether there's a limitation of the game engine, but yeah, same thing. So all your energy weapons. Um, well, I don't know about all of them, but that's opens up another discussion. But definitely mining lasers and uh, your multi-tool or salvage turrets should all be directly tied to the amount of power that they have put to them to how efficient and their range. If you have a lot of power going to a salvage laser, it's gonna salvage a lot quicker. If it's a little bit of power, it's gonna take more time to salvage those materials. And also, you could have it to where the higher the salvage is, or the higher the power is, the higher percentage of reclaiming whole items. And if you have a little bit of power, your percentage is much lower, like your zero point 0.5. And for every 10 KPU you add to that salvage laser, you get another percent. And so, like this has 100 KPU, so I would get 10% chance versus the 1% chance, or the 0.8% chance. And that would drive a lot of creative gameplay, and engineering these individual kind of purpose built machines that I think would help the game a lot in its lifespan. All right, thanks for watching, and feedback is always welcome. Thank you.